Tris, Four, Caleb, Peter, and Marcus travel to Amity, where several surviving Abnegation are settled in. Amity issues a statement that all factions may seek refuge there as long as they reside in peace. Tris overhears Marcus confessing to the Amity speaker, Joanna, that Abnegation's leaders died to protect a secret. Tris later confronts Marcus, but he refuses to reveal anything. So the book I chose to read is called Insurgent, which is the second book in the Divergent series, and this book is by Veronica Roth.
The faction-based society that Tris Prior once believed in is shattered, fractured by violence and power struggles and scarred by loss and betrayal. So when offered a chance to explore the world past the limits she's known, Tris is ready. Perhaps beyond the fence, she and Tobias will find a new life together, free from complicated lies, tangled loyalties, and painful memories. But Tris's new reality is even more alarming than the one she left behind. Old discoveries are quickly rendered meaningless. Explosive new truths change the hearts of those she loves. And once again, Tris must battle to comprehend the complexities of human nature and of herself, while facing impossible choices about courage, allegiance, sacrifice, and love. So the book that I decided to read is Allegiant. It's the third book in the Divergent series, and it is written by Veronica Roth.
She discovers her dissolute son has designs to sell the ancestral home out from under her. Miss Amethyst, 93 years old and as sharp as ever, isn't about to let that legacy go. If her son is lost to her, there's still her great-granddaughter. Little Am, even though that once gentle, good-natured child has mutated in her teenage years into something else altogether. But whatever it takes, little Am is going to know what the noble family heritage is worth fighting for. The title of my book is The Amethyst Heart, and the author is Penelope J. Stokes.
The main characters in my book is Tobias Eaton, Beatrice Prior, which her nickname is Tris, Janine Matthews, and Caleb Prior, which is Tris's brother. I would consider this book an action and adventure genre. There's also some romance thrown in, but it's more focused on the action and adventure part of the book.
So the main characters of my book are Tobias Eaton, Tris Prior, Caleb Prior, who is Tris's brother, and Marcus Eaton, who is Tobias's dad. Now, the genre of the book is probably action and adventure, but there is a little bit of romance, just like in Insurgent.
So, in my book, the main characters are Amethyst Noble, her husband Harper, her best friend Sally, Amethyst's son Conrad, and his wife Margaret, and then their daughter's name is Little Anne. And the genre of my book would be, it's kind of hard to pick one, but it would be historical fiction.
The plot of my story, I think, is when Tris and Tobias try to take over Iridite, and I think the climax of my story is the big battle or the big war with Iridite at the end of the book.
Or plot of Divergent is Tobias and Tris trying to figure out their allegiance to the factions and each other after being informed of new information about their leaders and like what really goes on behind the scenes. And the climax of the novel is when they escape from the Fringe, which is the Amity safe house they're staying in while the war is going on, and try to see what life is like outside.
Okay, so the plot of my story is when Amethyst wants more company in the noble home, and she decides to take in her great-granddaughter, Little Am, and Conrad, which is Little Am's dad, isn't so happy about the whole situation. He kind of wants to spend more time with Little Am and wants his old life back. And the climax is when Little Am stands up to her dad, Conrad, and Amethyst and a few friends and family members decide to put the noble home to good use, and they help hurt and wounded soldiers as they're coming in from war or whatever situation that might be, and they just really take them into their home and comfort them and help them with all their needs. So yeah.
So my favorite part of Insurgent was the big war or the big battle with Iridite at the end, because it was just really interesting, exciting, and surprising, and I just really enjoyed reading about this part of the book. And that also kind of goes along with the ending, and the ending of this book was really good, and it left you with a cliffhanger, which really made me want to read the third book right away, and the ending was just really surprising, and I really liked it.
So my favorite part of Allegiant was when they escaped from the Amity headquarters, because I think it was just really exciting, and it was a nice like turning point into like more exciting things of the book, so that's what I liked. And I did not like the ending very much because I am someone who likes happy endings, and it wasn't very
favorite part in the book was when Amethyst and Harper got married, and when Harper gave Amethyst the antique brooch as a symbol of his love for her. And with this antique brooch, it started off with that generation and was passed on to the other generations, and it just kept going throughout the legacy of the family. And I just thought it was really cool as a symbol of Harper's love for Amethyst. And did I like the ending? No, not really, because it didn't really sum up the book, and it just was sort of confusing throughout. It wasn't really a good conclusion to, bring everything together. And it wasn't terrible, but wasn't the best. So yeah.
I would recommend Insurgent to anybody, but I do think you should be at least 10 or older to read this. And I also think that you shouldn't read this book unless you have read Divergent first, because it wouldn't make any sense.
So I would recommend Allegiant if you have read the first 2 books in the series, Divergent and Insurgent, because without reading those, you really wouldn't have any idea what's going on. And I would also recommend the whole Divergent series if you like adventure and like action books. So yeah, it's a really good series.
Would I recommend this book to others? Probably not, because it just wasn't really my genre, and I just didn't like it that much. And I think it's more leaning towards adults. I think more adults would find it more interesting and just, up their alley and stuff. So overall, it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't terrible either. So, yeah.